The viewer count was at 1337 for a second there. I'm very proud. But here we are, ladies and gentlemen. We're playing on another new interesting map for the Russian Starleague Season 5. Spawning in the bottom right position of the map that is RSL TPW Strangewood Mire. As the red Zerg player from Quantic Gaming, it is Hyun. And something in the top left position as the green Protoss player coming in from Evil Genius's raid call, it is HuK. HuK already going with the pylon inside of his main base. This is actually not a map that I've actually cast a game on before. This TPW Strangewood Mire, we didn't even use this one in the preseason, so this is going to be interesting. This map seems to be a pretty moderate size. I feel like this is going to be a pretty solid map for Stargate play with some of the airspace behind the natural, but I actually don't quite know how to read this map. It's very, very pretty. A lot of excellent use of foliage we can see here. I like the tile set. Is this rock tower? Okay, this rock tower must block this off. This would be a cool experience for all of us here. I really love seeing new maps come in. Awesome stuff. So guys, this is the second match today for the RSL Russian Star League Group F. The first match was MMA versus Gosu User. MMA took a decisive 2-0 win. So the winner of this game will play versus MMA, and the loser will play versus Gosu User. And yeah, that will determine who goes into the final match of the day. Now, Hyun going for the very fast hatchery. This is a large map. I believe it's all spawns normally. I don't think there's any rules about close spawns. This is a pretty large map, so not really an issue. But HuK is going to open up with 2 gas geysers. So it does look like he wants to do some sort of potential gateway expand. He only has 2 probes in each assimilator, which means he will be able to afford a nexus if he wants to at some point. Although, I think we all know HuK's PvZ style generally relies on a lot of aggression. And by that I mean a lot of aggression. Actually slightly surprised to see him open up with 2 gas geysers. HuK is a player that really likes to go for 2 base styles. You know, you get the really fast expansion, and then you go for something like an 8 gate or any kind of really big, I guess, I don't know, some really big gateway timing attack. It's really a hallmark of HuK's style. And as far as how Hyun likes to play, I feel like he actually has a good composition versus gateway units. Hyun likes to go for the very heavy layer-based composition. He's really hard to catch off guard with 2 base timing attacks just because he likes to go for the fast third base, straight into a lot of Hydralisks. But Hyun has opened up with the gas. He's going to get Zergling speed. He still has... He's going to pull all the drones off. He's got 1 drone mining gas, which is fine. Totally fine. So that Zergling speed is going to be done in about 100 seconds. Now, what Hyun does with it is a completely different story, though. HuK will expand, so this is about as much as we expected. We are going to have the Stalker come out. The Mothership Core is heading across the field to do a bit of scouting, potentially pressure as well. And I'm assuming that HuK is just going to assume that this map is cross spawns. He wants to zone away that Zergling, prevent it from getting any scouting information, but he's not really going to be able to. And the cool thing about this map is that HuK has not been scouted. So the gateway expand is a nice play to do on this map, largely because if Hyun was doing anything really greedy, there's no way he would possibly be able to respond in time to the pressure that could come. And he's actually, the Zergling gets away, and he's not going to spot this Overlord either. So no player really getting a big advantage, but HuK is going to get a pretty quick Stargate. And what this is going to do is allow him to pick off these Overlords that are hanging around the map. And since this map is so big, it also opens up the door for a lot of nice harassment utility. Since moving around the map with a Warp Prism, even with their speed buff, it's still going to take a while to get around. And Phoenix are just so much better. And now, ooh, this Sentry, man, this is, man, right here. That's a really nice, the left tackle, basically keeping him out of the base. And well, HuK doesn't see anything really unusual as far as what the Zerg player is doing, and Hyun's just droning up while building Zerglings. So his speed is done. He might want to go for a little bit of harassment. Tries to start this 3rd hatchery, but the Mothership Core is there to deny that Zergling, and that's a really nice play by HuK, preventing that third base from starting as long as possible. And Hyun's actually just going to go take the third on the other base, which is going to be much more difficult to defend. But Hyun's just like, nah, man, I'm just not dealing with you right now. If you want to try to block my base there, go for it. He's going to take his lair at the same time as he starts this Rotorn, and he's also going to begin... Oh, he's going to take that bottom left base as well. He's just going to move straight up to 4 bases. He doesn't care. The Lings try to find somewhere to pressure at the front. There's not really anywhere to go. This map, as far as the third base for HuK goes, is going to be super difficult to secure. The Mothership Court here can harass this third because it's so far away. A queen will never reach... Yeah, this queen, it's going to take her 5 years to cross the map. We see Hyun checking everywhere. He's like, okay, well, make sure there's no proxy bases, nothing, no ninjas, anything of that type. And he will also build himself an evolution chamber. Very standard. +1 attack is on the way for HuK. We do have a couple of Phoenix on the field now. Pretty much just trying to prevent anything from getting over here. Picking off the Overlord, this queen, realizing, you know what, I'm just never going to make it there in time. And Hyun might actually end up canceling this since without that lair, without the lair being done just yet. And now it's completed, but getting Hydralisks out in time to deal with that is going to be a bit of a pain. And there's the Twilight Council coming up for HuK. No Robo yet for HuK, which is, I think, something that's a very interesting decision versus a player such as Hyun, who classically goes for Roach Hydra, and sometimes even just Hydralisks, which makes it quite difficult. Stargate units aren't really that strong versus Hydra-based compositions. I think we saw in one of our matches yesterday, actually, Harstam versus Bly. Harstam tried to go for just a straight-up airplay. He actually forewent every single Robo unit. He just didn't want to build any at all, except like an Observer. And that ended up hurting him quite a bit. Bly was able to take advantage of that with a lot of Hydralisk play. These queens are going to try to grab this Mothership Core, but the Phoenix immediately picking them up and just doing everything that they can. Is there energy for a transfuse? No, not. Well, there was, but he just decided not to. The queen with enough energy to transfuse will get picked up as well, though, and this is such a pain. There is a transfuse now, keeping that queen from dying and just preventing HuK from doing any real amounts of damage. Also throwing down additional transfuses. Hyun's trying to find somewhere to run into the front, but there's just too much here at the moment. I'm actually surprised. HuK doesn't really have too much to defend against this at all since the Mothership Court is not home. And I think Hyun's realizing now, okay, maybe I can actually go for this attack. The Groove Spines upgrade is going to start. That's the range for the Hydras. But there are a couple sentries. Okay, now the rest of the sentries are coming in. He can force field these away for a while. But there's not really much fighting power. And we see the Phoenix are going to come in and just try to slowly chew away at these units. Blink and +2 on the way for HuK. This is not a map where taking a third is really a viable option. So we are going to see HuK go for his standard 8-gate. I say standard. If you guys watch any of HuK's play, this is his build. HuK is probably most known in the scene for 8-gating versus Zerg. He really likes to try to control the gateway units, be cost effective with things like Blink. And Hyun, while he did secure this top right base, all he's really doing with it is using it as a macro hatchery. There's no drones here just yet, and in fact he's most likely going to try to saturate the bottom left base since it's just so much closer to his main. It's a lot easier to defend. And well, Hyun's going for a lot of Hydralisks, and he's mixing in some Roaches, some Lings as well. Hyun loves his Lair Tech versus Protoss so very much. No Hive yet, which is kind of interesting out of him since Hyun also really favors Vipers for dealing with expensive units. But in all honesty, Vipers aren't really the best way to deal with this sort of composition. You just need to have pure numbers of units since there's not really anything to abduct. It's hard to get a cost-effective abduct, I should say. You could pull in the Immortals, sure, but the Hydras aren't really that worried about Immortals. And once the Muscular Augments upgrade is complete, that's the Hydralisk speed is going to be totally fine. But here we go. HuK is moving out across the field. He has his Mothership Core, a couple of Immortals, a lot of sentries with energy on them. Six sentries with almost full energy. And Hyun could try to go for something like a counterattack, but I think at the moment, the best way to play this out is to try to go for a positional edge. There's no Observer with this army, which means that Hyun, his creep isn't going to be cleared up. So he's going to have... Oh, Hyun, watch out for this ramp. The Stalkers will blink down. If he gets force fielded off here, that would be really disastrous. Thankfully, there's not too much here. He did try to saturate his base, but the drones will evacuate. And the Hydra's going to catch some of these Stalkers. There's so many choke points actually here with all of these cliffs. I'm starting to realize that Hyun will actually have a somewhat difficult time dealing with this push just because getting force fielded is going to be way too easy. HuK, though, no third base. If Hyun can protect his drones, he should be fine moving on to the later stages. And now we actually see HuK going back. So he might just try to take a third base behind this. Now, HuK doesn't actually know that this bottom left base was taken. If he assumes that Hyun is on 2 bases, he will then HuK will try to take his own third, or perhaps just try to all in anyway. And he is going to move in. I think he realizes that there's definitely a big threat of this base being here. And here we go. A lot of stalkers are coming up. He has the +2 attack. The Hydras and the Roaches are moving in. This is the open ground area that Hyun wants to engage, and he's trying to spread the Roach Hydra composition out a lot. The force fields are coming in, but not quite enough just yet. Now starting to pinch away. Some of these Hydras in the back are not able to get their attacks off, and these stalkers are just doing so much damage. Double time warp thrown down by HuK. Hyun still has the supply lead. He's hanging in there. 20 Lings and 6 Roaches are on the way, but he has this third base saturated. He has it secured, and that is really all he needs to win this game, as long as he can hold off this endless amount of aggression from HuK. And now he's moving in again. The Guardian Shield goes up, force fields, and Hyun is going to get a nice surround on this army. The Stalkers will try to blink away, but all of the sentries are gone, all of the Immortals are gone, all of the big, expensive, fancy pants units have been eliminated, and Roach Hydra Ling just completely stomps Mass Stalker. And Hyun looking very strong in this game. He's got his +2 attack for missiles on the way, which is going to give a nice big boost in damage output for those Hydralisks. They attack so fast. The Hydras attack they actually attack as fast as, slightly faster than Marines do, without stem, of course. But HuK behind this. Templar Archives, an additional Immortal, +3 weapons. He's going to move in. Oh, if he gets some big hits off on these drones, we can chew away the economy here. That would be huge, potentially, even if you just kill the space. That blink timer, though, is off cooldown, and that's what HuK needs to do. Just dive in, pick off a couple units, and then dive out, because right now, Hyun is in a really nice position. Oh, HuK, attacking those rocks is going to maybe kill. No, it doesn't kill off the army, but does split away some of these Hydralisks. Won't be quite enough, but almost doing a catastrophic amount of damage. Imagine if he had force fields there. A very nice use of the collapsible rock tower, but Hyun realizing just in time that he needed to move his units out of the way. Very smart play. Now Hyun's going to realize, okay, I should probably just kill these rocks off and make sure that that doesn't happen again, because that was a little too close for comfort, I think. But now Hyun is moving out. He has this bottom center base secured. HuK is going to try to move in on this. Ooh, but Hyun's got a lot of Hydralisks. He's going to immediately blink away. There's not much that HuK can do as far as aggression here goes. Storm is on the way. HuK is going to try to finally get a third base at the 18-minute mark. This Nexus will be complete. But is it too late? The main base is pretty much about to mine out. There's not really more than 200 minerals on any of these patches. And the natural expansion is also starting to run dry. HuK, in the meantime, has this fresh third. His fourth base is complete. 2 Stalkers in here to harass, though. Nice little play. But Hyun is moving in on this third. Will HuK be able to defend it? There's no Mothership Core. He can't recall. He has to take this fight right now. And there are so many units here for Hyun. Oh, if he retreats, he will have Storm, but it's still 30 seconds away. Hyun will be able to kill this third base off, no problemo. HuK, he can't defend this. And now Hyun can just back off. Without Storm, HuK is not able to engage this army. Of course, he would love to just force field some of these Hydralisks into a bit of a donut and then Storm on top of them, but Storm is only just about to complete, and Hyun honestly doesn't need to try to move in and try to kill a 2-base Protoss. There's almost no reason for him to do that. He knows that HuK is starving. There's not many resources available for him, and he's actually going to start to long-distance mine. He realizes, hey, I just don't really have that much. Oh my goodness, the Stalker's getting caught out of position. The Lings are trying to act as a barrier to prevent them from escaping, and a lot of them are going to fall. The Templar are here, however. Hyun needs to be so careful. One good set of force fields, and we could see this game start to even out a little bit more. This third Nexus is restarted, but ooh, Hyun taking some big storms here. A lot of these Hydras, all of them going into the orange or the red. That's exactly what HuK needed. The Lings, though, coming in. Some more storms will drop, but the Lings are going to be able to barrel on through here. There's so much DPS. A flank from Hyun will catch this whole army. There's the GG, and Hyun takes the first game in this best of 3 for the second match here at the Russian Starleague Group F. Nice play there at the end there for Hyun to be able to equalize things. So nice, yeah, nice. Good stuff from our Quantic Zerg and HuK. That's a really tough map to take a third base on. I can't blame him for going for the big, a big 2-base all-in, since that third is so hard to hold. And it really opens you up to those flanks that we saw towards the end. But we'll have to see if HuK can change things up or, you know, try to even out this match in the next game. Guys, we'll get there as soon as possible. Don't go anywhere. You're watching the RSL Season 5 Group F.